Yorkshire places. York was founded at the junction of the River Ouse and Foss by a garrison of 5,000 Roman soldiers around AD 71. It's said that the history of York is a history of England. An interesting and for some people useful bit of history is that York is the only place left in England where it is legal to shoot a Scotsman, but only with a bow and arrow and not on a Sunday. If you don't fancy hiking across the moors but still want to experience the spectacular scenery, the North York Moors Railway have just a ticket for you. It's all aboard at Pickering before setting off back in time to 1912 themed Levisham station right out on the moor proper. The train puffs through Newton Dale to Goathland, which doubled for Aidensfield station in Heartbeat, and is probably better known to Porter fans as Hogsmeade in the film Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And if being close to all the celebrity excitement makes you thirsty, there's a chance to refresh yourself in the tea room at Gosmount before the final leg of the journey down to Whitby and a quick bite in Dracula's favourite seaside resort. So sit back, relax, and let the train take the strain. Founded in 1071 by Alan the Red, a Norman lord under William I, Richmond Castle is the oldest surviving stone castle in England. If you visit the castle and scout about a bit, you'll discover the plaque set into the wall near the southwest corner commemorating the fact Lord Baden-Powell resided in the castle from 1908 to 1910. With 27 letters, the village of Sutton under Whitestone Cliff in North Yorkshire is the longest single-word place name in England. Don't forget your wide-angle lens if you want to take your picture standing next to the village sign. Depending on your interest in religion, the small village of London's Borough might be worth of note, for it was here in 627 AD that King Edwin of Northumberland was, for better or for worse, persuaded by Bishop Paulinus, later Archbishop of York and eventually St. Paulinus, to give up its pagan beliefs and embrace the Christian faith. The church was baptised in York on the 12th of April 627, so saving the good people of Yorkshire for an eternal fate of hellfire and damnation, or so he thought. Immortalised in Bram Stoker's Dracula, Whitby is a Yorkshire coastal town where the bloodsucker first set foot on English soil. These days, if you fancy a bite, you might be better off trying one of the local chip shops. These include the Magpie Fish and Chip restaurant, which I can wholeheartedly recommend, which according to Rick Stein serves up the best fish and chips in Britain. Ripon was granted the Royal Charter back in 886 by King Alfred the Great, making it Britain's oldest city. The earliest freestanding obelisk in the country can be also found in Ripon Market Square. The square was described by Daniel Defoe, the finest and most beautiful square that is seen in its kind in England. And the weekly Thursday market, starting in 1292, is still held today. Of course, for most, 1066 is synonymous with the Battle of Hastings, but there was an earlier battle in this fateful year. The Battle of Stamford Bridge took place on the 25th of September 1066, 3 weeks before Hastings. It was here, after a 4-day forced march, that King Harold Godwinson's forces fought and defeated the invading Norwegian army under King Harold Hardrade. Harold's subsequent defeat in the Battle of Hastings is largely attributed to his army being exhausted from this campaign just a few weeks earlier, and that's not York's fault. Why would a village with a mere population of just under 400 souls be of interest to anyone? Well, if you're a paleontologist, or just like big rocks, then this one should definitely be of interest. Rudson is home to the 25-foot, 7.6 metre high Rudson monolith, the highest standing stone in England. By gum lad, she's a big one. The 9 square mile area in West Yorkshire, bordered by Wakefield, Morley, and Rothwell, was at one time responsible for producing 90% of the world's winter rhubarb crop. If rhubarb is your thing, then head for Wakefield in February and the Festival of Food, Drink and Rhubarb. Have some custard and get stuck in. Yorkshire is home to many great pubs, including England's highest, Tan Hill, at 1,732 feet above sea level, and also England's oldest inn, the Bingley Arms at Barnsley, which opened for business in 905 AD. If crossing bridges is one of your things, or you just like the unusual and value the unique, head for the village of Singington in North Yorkshire, for this is where you can cross a bridge, not over troubled water, but over nothing at all. Before leaving, don't forget to marvel at the world's first stainless steel maypole too. Located in Knaresborough and a part of the Mother Shipton estate, England's oldest visitor attraction first opened in 1630. The water has an extremely high mineral content, which means everything in its path eventually turns to stone. Don't worry though, this doesn't happen instantaneously. The petrification process depends on the material. Non-porous materials can take up to 18 months, so you don't have to worry about dipping your fingers in. No video about Yorkshire can be complete without some mention of the county's coal mining heritage. Britain's oldest coal mine was the Prince of Wales Colliery at Pontefract, West Yorkshire. The pit was opened in 1860 and sadly closed in 2002. If you want to find out more about England's coal mining history, then visit the National Coal Mining Museum for England at Overton near Wakefield. Yes, Sheffield is famous for its steel and has been since the days of the Chaucer, who mentioned a Sheffield whittle, a small knife, in the Canterbury Tales way back in the 14th century. However, Sheffield has another claim to fame. With a population of over 500,000 and 2 million trees, Sheffield had more trees per capita than any other city in Europe, possibly making it the greenest city in Europe too. If you hear someone looking for Fat Betty, there's no need to join them in the hunt, call the police, or the local dog catcher. There are probably tourists, and the Fat Betty is in question is a white stone cross to be found at the North York Moors, just north of the road from Blakely Ridge to Rosedale Abbey. At least it should be. Apologies to any Fat Betty that might truly be lost. As well as providing the inspiration for Yorkshire's unofficial anthem, Ilkley Moor has been visited by aliens. In 1987, retired policeman Philip Spencer got a photograph of one out of the moor before the slippery devil escaped in his UFO. Keep your eyes peeled, there might be more aliens in Yorkshire than you think. You've heard about them, you've probably tried to catch mice using cheese from one of them, but how many of them have you actually visited? The Yorkshire Dales are famous throughout the world and renowned for their breathtaking natural beauty. If you really want to do the Dales, then you'll have 16 to visit in total. The list in alphabetical order is as follows: Garthdale, Birkdale, Bishopdale, Chapelly Dale, Coverdale, Yentdale, Garsdale, Strathdale, Littondale, Kingsdale, Malhamdale, Nidderdale, Ribblesdale, Swaledale, Wensleydale and Wharfdale. Thanks for watching. Join me next time for part 3.